hello again, and welcome to Roland's Reviews. We're going to check out the court hearing and see what's going on. They are currently on a commercial break. Please do me a small favor and hit that little thumb. That's the like button. And we will see. Let's see what they're saying here. All right, so let me see where we are here. Hello, Sherry Yelverton. How are you doing? Hold on, let me go back so we can see the live coverage here. Hold 1 second. Of course, if no one's live, you know JLR is. Boom. Hello, hello, hello. I thought I would jump on just for a short period of time so that we could see. Let me see. I think Court TV is hold on. Court TV did have coverage. And so let me see if I can find it. They did broadcast it. So I'll share that with you and then we'll get right off of here. Hit that like button, folks, if you will. Oh my goodness. I've been watching Court TV for years. All right, so let's see where we are. All right. I think I found it. I just want you to hear. Let me see, where is it? I want you to hear the case. And I think from what I've heard, they have him on some type of watch so that he doesn't harm himself as well. So let's see what's going on here. All right. And I'll try to get you up to steam here. All right. All right. So they had a press conference first. And then, how you doing? P. Greg, Shaziz, DJ, Cheryl, my girls. Hello, hello, hello. I did not find the frog. No way. That frog is hiding from me. OMG. So they're getting ready to start. I wanted to show you the press conference first. Here we go. And then you can see, actually you can see him in the courtroom. He's requesting a court appointed attorney because he's injured it. No bail, still in a turtle suit. Glad his parents aren't going to bankrupt themselves. Sherry Yelverton, I'm glad you said that. I see so many parents, and maybe people tell me I don't understand, and I don't understand because I don't have children. But if you did something that stupid, you need to figure it out. Yes, my girls, how you doing, love? I'm sorry, you're just stupid.
Gentlemen, we're about to begin.
All right,
My name
here
is
we go.
Richard Pyatt. I'm the communications manager for Utah County. I'm working with the Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, as he handles this case and as the county deals with the publicity surrounding this case. We appreciate your being here. Jeff will enumerate the charges and detail what the county's findings are up to this point. And then
I wish he would speak up. He's speaking really low.
I may cut it off. I may assist him in helping to pick the people who are asking the question. We just ask that you keep the questions to the process of what we're talking about and refrain from asking questions that speculate or get into the political dynamic of the case. For Utah County, this is a murder case. We're trying a murder case. We're trying to keep the questions to that, but I understand that you're under pressure and have a lot of different questions, and we'll try to answer them. We're joined today by our sheriff and our prosecution team and our county commissioners. Jeff is going to be the only one speaking right now, and I'll introduce right now County Attorney Jeff Gray.
Okay, let's see. They're adjusting the microphone, so maybe it will be better now.
The murder of Charlie Kirk is an American tragedy. Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic, the free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union. It is also an offense against the state and to the peace and enjoyment of the people of Utah and of all those who visit here. But Charlie Kirk's murder also strikes a more personal and intimate chord. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a father to two beautiful young children. He was a son, he was a brother, and a friend. Like all murders, the senseless and needless taking of Charlie Kirk's life has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his two young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heartfelt prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action 30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police. Children were present at the time of the shooting. The shooting. Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, organized a public outdoor event to be held at noon on September 10th, 2025 at UVU. The event was the first in a series of similar events to be held at college campuses nationwide. Mr. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist, famous for these type of events where he discusses various political issues and debates with audience members. His events and comments have garnered a significant number of supporters and drawn the ire of many who disagree with his political views. The event at UVU was announced far in advance and garnered significant publicity and interest. Consequently, several hundred people attended. Mr. Kirk was interacting with a crowd before the event officially got underway. Then at approximately noon, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a portable canopy behind a table and microphone. He began speaking to the crowd and fielding questions from attendees, a format Mr. Kirk commonly used at his events. Mr. Kirk allowed his questioners to approach a microphone positioned directly in front of him. Mr. Kirk's team members were very close to him on his right and left, as well as some behind his canopy and others at various close locations near him. The large crowd surrounded Mr. Kirk on three sides. Temporary metal fencing separated attendees from Mr. Kirk by only a matter of feet. Directly above and behind Mr. Kirk was the UVU Hall of Flags, an indoor walkway spanning several hundred feet with floor-to-ceiling glass windows which overlooked the plaza where Mr. Kirk was seated. People were in the walkway at the time of the shooting. Approximately 15 minutes into the event, Mr. Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings by transgender individuals when a gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Mr. Kirk in the neck. He slumped to the ground almost immediately. The bullet's trajectory passed closely to several other individuals beside Mr. Kirk, including the questioner who was standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk. Children were visible near Mr. Kirk's stage when he was shot. Mr. Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was declared deceased. The medical examiner's report is still pending. So UVU surveillance. So at the moment of the shot, a UVU police officer was watching the crowd from an elevated vantage point. As soon as he heard the shot, he began to scan the area for threats. Believing the shot came from a rifle because of its sound, he looked for potential sniper positions. He noted a roof area approximately 160 yards away from Mr. Kirk as a potential shooting position and rushed there to look for evidence. The suspected shooting position is adjacent to an open, publicly accessible walkway. To access the suspected location, a person must climb over a railing and then drop to the roof only slightly below. The UV officer climbed over the railing and down onto the roof. He then walked to the suspected shooting position and confirmed a clear shooting corridor between the position and Mr. Kirk's seat. He also noticed markings in the gravel rooftop, consistent with a sniper having lain on the roof, impressions in the gravel, potentially left by the elbows, knees, and feet of a person in a prone shooting position. Police reviewed surveillance from the camera covering the roof and discovered that it recorded an individual dressed in dark clothing cross the railing from the public walkway and drop onto the roof at approximately 12:15 p.m. Although the individual moved out of the camera's view for a short time, the camera again captured the individual running across the roof and then low crawling to the area the UVU officer recognized as where the suspected sniper had dropped into a prone shooting position. After a short time, which matches the known time of the shot, the individual arose and ran across the roof to the northeast. This discovery led to an intensive review of UVU surveillance recordings to attempt to track and identify the suspect. Surveillance revealed the following. At approximately 11:51 a.m., the suspect entered campus from the north. He is seen wearing a black shirt with an American flag in the center, a dark baseball cap, and large sunglasses. Throughout the surveillance, the suspect keeps his head down and rarely raises his head enough to get a clear image of his face. As he proceeds across the campus, he is seen walking with an unusual gait. The suspect walks with very little bending in his right leg, consistent with a rifle being hidden in his pants. This unusual gait continues until the suspect is seen crossing the railway off the open walkway and onto the roof, where he leaves the. A camera later captures the suspect as he runs across the roof to the suspected shooting position. Immediately after the shot was fired, a camera captures the suspect running across the roof carrying an item whose shape is consistent with a rifle. The suspect is then seen climbing down from the roof. He appears to drop the item he was carrying as he hits the ground in a controlled fall. He then picks up the item and runs toward the northeast end of campus. Expanded crime scene investigation. Law enforcement officers followed the suspect's escape path to the northeast end of campus, where they believe the suspect left campus and entered a wooded area. In that wooded area, investigators found a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel. The rifle contained one spent round and 3 unspent rounds. This is consistent with the facts officers observed at the time of and immediately after the shootings. No shell casings were found on the roof, suggesting a bolt action rather than an auto-loading weapon, and only a single round was fired. Each round in the rifle contained an etched inscription as follows. The fired cartridge was etched, no Tice's bulge, OWO, what's this? The second cartridge that was again not spent, the last 3 were not spent, were not fired. The second, hey fascist, catch, with arrow symbols. The third cartridge, oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow. The fourth cartridge, if you read this, you are gay, LMAO. The rifle, ammunition rounds, and towel were sent for forensic processing. DNA consistent with defendant was found on the trigger, other parts of the rifle, the fired cartridge casing, 2 of the 3 unfired cartridges, and the towel. Law enforcement was unable to immediately locate the shooter, so they published photos of the shooter from the UVU surveillance cameras and asked for the public's help to identify him. Meanwhile, law enforcement continued to try to identify the shooter through other means. The Washington County investigation. On the evening of September 11th, 2025, as law enforcement continued their investigation, Tyler James Robinson went to the Washington County Sheriff's Office with his parents and a family friend to turn himself in. Robinson's mother stated that the following to police. On September 11th, 2025, the day after the shooting, Robinson's mother saw the photo of the shooter in the news and thought the shooter looked like her son. Robinson's mother called her son and asked him where he was. He said he was at home sick and that he had also been at home homesick on September 10th. Robinson's mother expressed concern to her husband that the suspect shooter looked like Robinson. Robinson's father agreed. Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate. Robinson's father reported that when his wife showed him the surveillance image of the suspected shooter in the news, he agreed that it looked like their son. He also believed that the rifle that police suspected the shooter used matched a rifle that was given to his son as a gift. As a result, Robinson's father contacted his son and asked him to send a photo of the rifle. Robinson did not respond. However, Robinson's father spoke on the phone with Robinson. Robinson implied that he planned to take his own life. Robinson's parents were able to convince him to meet at their home. As they discussed the situation, Robinson implied that he was the shooter and stated that he couldn't go to jail and just wanted to end it. When asked why he did it, Robinson explained there is too much evil and the guy, referring to Charlie Kirk, spreads too much hate. They talked about Robinson turning himself in and convinced Robinson to speak with a family friend who's a retired deputy sheriff. At Robinson's father's request, the family friend met with Robinson and his parents and convinced Robinson to turn himself in. The family friend spoke to police and reported telling Robinson that it would be best if he brought all evidence with him to the sheriff's office to avoid police having to search his parents' home. The friend also asked Robinson if he had any clothes that were related to what he did. Robinson replied that he had disposed of the clothes in different areas. The roommate. Police interviewed Robinson's roommate, a biological male who was involved in a romantic relationship with Robinson. The roommate told police that the roommate received messages from Robinson about the shooting, and he did provide those messages to police. On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. The following text exchange, then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, "I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet." Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson again, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine, IDK. I think that was a $2K scope. Wink, wink. Robinson again, delete this exchange. Again, Robinson, my dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN. Not answering. Robinson, since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. The search for Robinson's residence. Police executed a search warrant on Robinson's residence. During that search, police discovered a shell casing with etchings like the etchings found on the shells in the rifle near UVU. Police also found several target boards with bullet holes in Robinson's home. Now, as I stated in the beginning, when I read those allegations, these are allegations. And like the evidence set forth in this statement, those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. I understand the public's desire to know the facts. My own family members have pressed me for information. Why are we reluctant to share the details of the investigation itself and comment on the case? Because I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. I became a prosecutor because of my love for the ideals of this great country and the principles embedded in our Constitution. The free exchange of ideas and opinions is critical to this great American experiment, but so too are the protections afforded to the accused found in the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. The right against self-incrimination, the right to a speedy and public trial, the right to the effective assistance of counsel, the right to confront one's accusers, and the right to compel the attendance of witnesses. And perhaps most importantly, under our Constitution, the accused is presumed innocent until we, the state, prove to an impartial jury of defendant's peers his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That jury cannot rely on our allegations, on what they hear in the news, or on what they hear from a public official. The jury is the sole trier of fact, and they will ultimately determine those facts based on evidence a trial judge has determined is admissible. Again, as prosecutors, we bear the burden to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But make no mistake, we welcome this burden. I'd like to now introduce my trial team who will be charged with prosecuting the case. This is a veteran and expert team of some of the state's best trial attorneys. Chad Grunander, who is one of my two chief deputies, Ryan McBride and David Sturgill on the far right there. And those two were very much involved in preparing search warrants, did a phenomenal job, worked day and night to see that accomplished well after Robinson was taken into custody. Also, Lauren Hunt, she is one of our special victims prosecutors, and Chris Ballard, my second chief deputy, who will be handling motions. I'm going to explain just the procedural steps. We're not a grand jury. We don't have a grand jury system like the federal courts do. It's a preliminary hearing system. So the arrest and filing of the criminal information are merely the first steps in the criminal justice process. Today at 3 p.m., the defendant will appear before a judge in the Utah 4th District Court for his first appearance to be informed of these charges and to ensure that he has an attorney to represent him. The hearing will be brief. The judge will conduct that first appearance virtually via WebEx. This is not unusual. In the 4th District, all felony first appearances for defendants who are in custody are held virtually. A link to that hearing is available for media on the Utah State Courts X account at Utah State Courts. Now, following defendant's first appearance, he will be entitled to a preliminary hearing. At that hearing, the state will be required to show probable cause that defendant committed the crimes. The purpose of the preliminary hearing is not to determine guilt, but simply to assure the court that the prosecution has enough evidence to proceed to trial. If a judge finds probable cause and binds the case over for trial, an arraignment hearing will be held. At that hearing, a judge will again inform defendant of the charges against him and require him to enter a plea to each charge. The next step following the arraignment is an opportunity for the parties to file any relevant motions and then ultimately the trial itself. This case has generated a tremendous amount of interest across our nation and even the world. The public's desire for information is understandable, but it bears reiterating that this case will be tried in a court of law consistent with our Constitution, not the court of public opinion. Thus, we will only discuss with the press discuss the case with the press occasionally. It will not be a day-to-day or even week-to-week occurrence, but we will only do so in a manner as not to jeopardize the fair trial process. Before I conclude, I want to express my appreciation for the tireless work of our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. They have an extremely difficult, dangerous, and often thankless job. I'm proud to acknowledge the exceptional work they do every day, and particularly their work on this case. It was truly a marvel to witness. Their skilled work and dedication have brought us to this point. I'm also grateful for the leadership demonstrated by Bo Mason, the Commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety, FBI Special Agent in Charge Rob Bowles, Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith, our local police chiefs, and Felice John Vitti, the acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Utah. I'm also grateful for the support of our Governor, Spencer Cox, and our Attorney General, Derek Brown, who is standing behind me today and has offered his support and resources as we proceed to trial. Finally, I want to thank our Utah County Commissioners, Amelia Powers Gardner, Brandon Gordon, and Skylar Beltran. They too have pledged to assist with the resources needed to successfully prosecute this case. I will now take a few questions.
For questions, ladies and gentlemen, just really fast, if you could identify yourself and what are we going to do.
Okay. They are still looking into it. It's an undergoing investigation. They haven't ruled that out. I don't have that information. I talked to officials from both administrations, but I was not pressured to make a decision. I understood their feelings on it because it was in the news, but we didn't really discuss that. I'm going to stick to what I just stated in my public, in our information. I think that is pretty much set forth there. Again, we don't have any information at this point of additional suspects, but I know that our law enforcement agencies are continuing to follow leads. Yeah, I'm not. I can't comment on that. I'm not aware of all their investigation. I just know that these agencies are continuing to investigate this case and follow all leads. That's up to the feds. They have different charges and they're reviewing the evidence, and after they review the evidence and the law, they could file charges, but I'm not privy to exactly what they're looking at. Again, I'm not prepared to answer that question. It's part of our code, and so we charge that. Ultimately, a judge will determine that at trial. Again, I'm not going to comment on that. Okay. I am not aware of that information. It's, again, still under investigation. I am not going to comment on that. I am not going to comment on that. Well, as attorneys, we typically like to control that information to preserve an impartial jury and a fair trial. Excuse me? I don't have that information.
Can you tell us more about what the family may have said in interviews?
What? That from where? That the defense will be from Utah County? I couldn't predict what they're going to do. That will be for a jury to decide. And so we're comfortable with that. Are his parents and the roommates still cooperating? I'm not going to comment on that either. I can't share any more than what I've already said.
This was a very precise shot. Do you have any evidence that he went places to practice or had practiced before the shooting that's given insight out?
The evidence that I'm willing to share is what I just read in our statement, and it's in the information.
So I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it off there.
Okay.
If you could just answer, did you consult Eric and Kirk about seeking the death penalty?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think all of you know that the charges will be available online. We're in the final stages of processing that, and they'll be available on the utahcounty.gov.
All right. How's everyone doing? Hit that like button for me, please. I've just been letting them talk. No comment, no need. Yeah, and they know that all these questions that they ask, they know that they are in no position to answer them because it may jeopardize the case. So, but they just continue asking all of those dumb questions. Okay. So that was the press conference. Now I need to get the actual, let me see. Let me get, so you can see him in court. Hold on now. Now wait. So yeah. I think someone said it earlier. Why even have a press conference when there's really nothing you can say? You're very limited because this, the state wants to win their case, so you need to shut up. Here we go.
Appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your right against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case. I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with your honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, your honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306, sub 2. In that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted, or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.10, sub 2, and 76-3-203.14, sub 3A, little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14, sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, yeah, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
So yeah, my girls, that's actually him. So what Maga said earlier, and you can see he had problems with his own sexuality, right? So look at, if you listen to the things he actually wrote on the bullets, he again, Maga, all he needed to do was just come out. No one cares. So because you're miserable and don't want to admit what you are and live your life the way you want to, because they said he had some, he and his father, when he started living with this man that's transitioning, he and his father started having some conversations, and Tyler wasn't too happy about what his father was saying. So again, you find a lot of these people that are mixed up, and they don't, they want to come out, but they're afraid. They feel bad. And so then they go out and do something crazy, and that's what I'm saying. And, he was a freaking ticking time bomb, literally. Jeremiah said, I have worse issues than he does, and I didn't unalive anyone. Boom, Jeremiah. And that's what I said. We all have problems, but that is definitely not the answer. Okay. Tyler's been watching way too much YouTube Lefty Lucy video. Share. Yes. And Ruby, that's what I'm saying. When someone commits a heinous crime, someone who had nothing to do with it has to suffer, and that's not right. So their whole life has been upended because he would not, as Maga said, he wouldn't come out of the closet. And he just, being with that transgender, the man transitioning to be a woman, who knows? But listen to all that leftist, garbage and propaganda. He wasn't happy with himself. And you see a lot of people, gay people who aren't happy with themselves, and they do a lot of projecting, and they have a lot of anti-gay hate. And just from the things that he was saying, he hated himself. Right? Cinema storms. Yes. And so why should anyone else suffer because you're miserable and don't want to come out of the closet? You take care of your problems, as I commonly say. When I have students that come trying to get me to sign a paper so they can continue to play sports, and I have to sign off on if their behavior is good enough and if they're they have good grades in my class. Sometimes they forget, and then they'll come rushing wanting me to sign the paper before I've had time to look at their grades. And I'm like, no. And I tell them, what's that saying? I don't know. I can't get it. I can't think of it right now. Something about poor planning on your part does not necessarily constitute an emergency on my part, something to that effect. And so, that's just where we are, folks. He was miserable. And I guess, the friction, him moving in with the transgender guy, that caused friction with his dad. And, but it seems from what they were saying, from the notes and things that he wrote to this guy, he was really in love with that. Well, I'm still saying it's a man because, but he appeared, to really be in love with him. How you doing, the Trumpet Watch? The Trumpet Watch, you said he's the patsy. Yeah, I've been hearing some conspiracy theories. Trumpet Watch, who do you believe it is if it's not him? So, where are we here? Okay, here's a little butt muffin Joel. Blame Obama, Big Mike. Okay, DJ. Yeah, a lot of this stuff was set in action years ago when all of this woke ideology really started to take off. And it's just been downhill ever since. Okay, Trumpet Watch will continue to come here to the channel and let us know when you're releasing your book. Okay, so that's just where we are. Let's see, what is Trumpet Watch saying? I explain everything in my upcoming book available this Friday on Amazon. Okay, drop back in the live chat and I'll go see if I can read some excerpts on Amazon. That's okay, Monique. It was a short hearing, and I forgot. Anyone remember the date that they'll be meeting again? They'll be back in court, or they're saying it may be something like a Zoom or something. I forgot what they called it, but I still call it Zoom, Google Meet. It's all the same. It's virtual meetings, basically. Okay. So what are your thoughts on this, folks? Do you feel he should receive the death penalty? If you do, type A1 in the comment section. I feel that he should. And that's just, that's what needs to happen. Gail 1, Nemo 1, Jeremiah 1. Okay. And then you have some black ministers who are sharing lies about Charlie Kirk. And people won't even try to learn for themselves, to take something that someone else, has told you. And I've been looking at videos and shorts and things, and it's just astounding. And you wonder why the situation is as bad as it is. And if people would just take a little time. Jeremiah Morris, thank you for the super chat, love. Sending you some hearts in the comment section. But I'm just saying, folks, I was watching, there was another teacher fight. These people are nuts. Yeah, Caesar, how you doing, love? Welcome. $100, he won't make it to his trial. Sherry, what do you think's going to happen? Because I know, they have that bulletproof vest on him because he is public enemy number 1 right now. And someone asked why he needed it, probably, just transporting him. Because they're probably thinking someone's going to try and take him out. So what are your thoughts on that? But I was watching some more videos, and some of these people they're online crying. Now, if these idiots go on and start a GoFundMe because they lost their job because they couldn't keep their big fat mouth shut, I bet people will be crazy enough to send them money. And I'm just like, no way. You need to figure it out. I was watching a video. Let me see. This woman was crying. And I'm like, it's your fault, stupid. Keep your mouth shut. Let me see. Yeah, let me share this I'll share it with you. I got fired for talking Charlie Kirk. Every day. And you mean to tell me as every day as people continue to, lose their jobs, these people who are every day who are continuing to say something on social media, you mean to tell me they're not aware that all these other people are losing their jobs? Jeremiah said, earn money, handout equals stupid. Yes. But I'm sure there'll be some crazy people that will send it to them. Let me share this with you. Why? Social media, and let me tell you something I've noticed. Since we came out with this phone policy, so that the students can't be on their social media pages all day, the fights are down. A lot of the issues that we had are down because they're not able to be on social media. Now, sure, some students are still hiding their phones, and what can we do? We can't search them. So, but I'm saying, I was just talking to a coworker today. A lot of, not all, but many problems have been alleviated just from the cell phone policy. Gail, I would not want to employ someone who is so callous and indifferent about someone being murdered. Gail, Say it again for the people in the back. Exactly. If you're talking like that over a human life, whether you liked him or not, he was a human being. Tina, yes. Let me show you. I mean, just the old people used to tell us a lot of things, and God knows we need to get back to it. But these people keep opening their big fat mouths. And then they come on social media crying. And I don't want to hear it. I don't. That's your fault for being stupid. Let me show you. Let me show you. And now they're looking for sympathy and empathy. And guess what? You did not extend any grace. So guess what? I'm not extending any to you. So they're just crashing out. I mean, they're all over TikTok. I don't know how many of you are on TikTok. They're black and white people crying and my First Amendment right. I mean, they are awful. And I'm just laughing at them. No one told you to open your big fat mouth. That's your fault. So listen to this. Another idiot.
This, but today's September 15th and it's 9:05 a.m. and yesterday at 5 p.m. I was fired from my job for posting a video saying I don't care about Charlie Kirk's death. In the video that I posted, I specifically said I wasn't celebrating it, but that I just don't care. And yet I was still fired from a job.
Okay, again, why was it necessary for you to go on social media and say that you don't care about his death? Why was that even necessary? Some things that I don't care about, I don't spend time on. Okay, I don't. So why was that necessary? Oh my God. Darlene, how you doing, love? Darlene, yes, they're awful. Yes. Yes, Joel, TikTok. It's still Chinese owned. Yes, it is. China owns it. So listen to this sad sob story.
Where my role was to increase educational equity to all students. That was my job. That was like, wasn't really just my job. It was like my identity too. I think that's been my whole career. Like, how can we get the highest quality education to as many students? Before this job, I worked at a nonprofit where I taught reproductive health to LGBTQ youth and youth in foster care in Dallas, Texas. And like, that was hard. But after I did it, I was so proud of myself. And I told myself I wouldn't go back to a job where like I couldn't be my authentic self. And I thought that's what I had in my job. And actually, the funny thing is I wasn't fired for saying that I don't care about it, because everyone on my team agrees with that, or everyone I've talked to, and people can say that. And I would have been okay to say that in my team chat at work. But I was fired because I was doxxed by someone who knows me. And they posted my job and my LinkedIn to the white supremacists. And so that's why I was fired, not actually because of what I.
All right, now she's getting back to the white supremacists. It's the white man's fault. Boom. Lady, get your life together. Why was it necessary for you to go and post online what anything that you felt about Charlie Kirk? Again, something or someone I don't care about, I'm not spending any amount of time talking about them or discussing them in any fashion. So you're stupid.
I said, which also hurts because like I was getting my job. I liked it a lot. And I feel so grateful because my coworkers have been reaching out to me and just like telling me they'll be my references and making sure I'm okay. And it feels good to know that I built a community there and that the people there see that character.
Oh. Again, oh, you should have kept your big fat mouth shut, lady. Gail Tripp. Gail. Gail said, the Golden Arches are hiring. Gail, now you know McDonald's, the Golden Arches. If you bring in that drama, if you said something crazy, they don't want you either. I know they're desperate. Stupid is as stupid does. Greg, again, even if if I could not stand him, I would. Why do you have to go online and discuss? Why are you sharing it with people? That's dumb. Cammy said, poor Ting. Right, Maga. Nemo, I can't. You have to have more than 2 brain cells. Ma'am, she should have done better. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That is absolutely, uncalled for. And I was telling you guys, I think in Monday's video, I have to pay, who is it? Rocket Mortgage every month. I don't have time to be stupid, okay? So however you feel about a person or a situation, keep your mouth shut. Oh, I can't with these people. And then, okay, as soon as I got home today, well, I was going to research it, and then the court proceedings started. And so I said, let me jump on live. A teacher in the Piedmont, so roughly an hour and let me see, maybe 20 minutes from me, fired. Teachers are still going on social media talking about this case. And I'm going to show that to you and we can get out of here. And I'm just flabbergasted. I don't, someone help me because I'm lost. I don't get it. They're still crashing out and losing their job. Teachers, the people teaching your students, the people who are with some of your kids longer than you are, they're idiots. They have, okay, here it is. Let me see. Was it in High Point? Okay, yeah. It was a GTCC. For people that don't know, North Carolina, we have community college in every county. I don't know if it's like that in every state. Yes, Darlene. So let me see. Let me pull this up and show you. And this was a community college instructor. So people are going on social media saying something stupid, and then when they get doxxed, they're crying. Hold on, I want to get a name and a picture for you. That's what I'm looking for. Again, the alert came across my phone as soon as I got home. Pretty much. Oh, and just so you know, Robert Redford died today. I shared it on my Facebook page. Oh my God, the way we were with Barbara Streisand. Oh, he was 89 years old, folks. So that broke my heart. Robert Redford. Oh God. I'm looking for the picture now. Yes, R.I.P. Shazzy, play stupid game. Yes. DJ Basco, that's the best thing to do. That way you know what they're learning. Gail Tripp, I fell in love with Robert Redford from a Twilight Zone episode he did. And then the movie he did with Barbara Streisand, The Way We Were, that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I've always loved Robert Redford. He was 89. Okay, let me see if I can find. I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find a picture so you can see how this moron looks, who was fired. And I told you there's several. Oh my God, they are crashing out. All right, let me see. I guess I can't. Let me see. Yeah, so this was at Guilford Technical Community College. So I guess she made the statement, but they're just now actually firing her. So you know how when you do something stupid, they put you on administrative paid leave, right? And then boom, They lower the boom. Okay, I can show this to you and then we'll get out of here. I won't be live tomorrow. I have to go to the dentist. So since I'm live tonight, hopefully this will hold you. But yeah, I will not. I know I'm normally live on Wednesdays, but I'm just letting you know I have to go to the dentist for my cleaning, my 6-month cleaning, and then they want to do probably x-rays and all that crap. All right, let me stop this screen. Hit the like button, please, if you are enjoying the content. Let me show you this crap. Oh my God. Woo! Stupid is as stupid does. So it says, let me stop this. A part-time instructor at Guilford Technical Community College. For those that are familiar with North Carolina, we're talking High Point, Greensboro, and it's near Winston-Salem, has been fired for comments she made regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Guilford Technical Community College does not condone violence or hate speech of any kind. As a result of our investigation, a part-time instructor is no longer employed by the college. We deeply regret that students, employees, and the community were impacted by her comments. Her behavior is not consistent with the college's values and mission to serve Guilford County. Her statement regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk does not support the open and respectful learning and working environment that GTCC provides every day. We want to reiterate that supporting violence is reprehensible and will not be tolerated at the college. So, again, you mean to tell me she hasn't been looking at all these other idiots that are losing their jobs? Someone talk to me. Maybe I can't understand it. De Niro is a clown. What did De Niro do now? I love his movies, but I do not like his political stances. And he's always talking about he wants to beat Trump up and all this crazy. Robert De Niro, you're too old for this foolishness. Get your life together. Come on. So, yeah, they're crashing out and they're trying to do the most. And don't come crying to me. You are stupid. And whatever happens to you is not my problem. And I was watching Officer Tatum. Some of these black preachers are up in the pulpit. And again, you're supposed, if you're my minister, you're supposed to be helping me, trying to help my soul, right? So I can make it to heaven. Why are you up in the pulpit talking about Charlie Kirk and all this other crap? Just why? You're not saying anything about the Bible. And I have a problem with that. Why are you not talking about God? Oh, that's right, because you're not really a man of God. So they've been trashing Charlie Kirk. And then as Jason Whitlock said, you had plenty of time to debate him when he was alive. You said, no, some of these people are coming out of the woodworks. You weren't man enough to debate him when he was here. Now he's gone and you're trashing him. But you're a man of God. Get out of here with that foolishness. Get out. Get out. I don't want to hear anyone who's sitting in a church like that. You need to get out now. Now. Don't wait. Do it now. And I was watching that and I was like, what? Aren't you supposed to be helping people's souls and praying for Charlie Kirk's family? You're out here preaching hate and talking about how racist he was. And that's not right, folks. That is not right at all. Oh. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I have another short I can share with you too. And I've been watching black and white people on all over social media crashing out. Before you judge me, I'm sick of it too. If you don't like someone, let it go. I mean, it's not that serious. So again, let me see. I will stop this and I'll share another short with you. Oh my goodness. Oh. Black fatigue is killing my soul, Dorian. Dorian, I don't have fatigue. I have exhaustion. All right. So let's see what this lady is saying here. Oh my God. Here we go.
Kirk is dead and black people are mad at him. Why? Oh, I know. He acknowledged what he thought was problems in our communities and offered solutions. Hard work, fathers in a home, education. That's what y'all mad at. Somebody telling you to work hard, marry before having children, and take education seriously. We have lost the plot. We have really lost the plot, and I am extremely concerned about my people. Liberal ideology, Democrat ideology, baby mama culture, whatever you want to call it, something has convinced Black America that it is possible for them to succeed in this country without valuing education and two-parent households. I want Black people to understand that there's no evidence in human history of a group of people being successful without education and strong family values. It just does not exist. No amount of government aid, assistance, programs, because I know y'all love programs, can replace the impact of having a father in a home. It's just not going to happen. There's no way around the fact, the very real fact, that conservative principles and values are needed to establish a strong foundation across any culture, across any racial group. They're needed. Period. What's wrong with y'all?
So some of them, a lot of people are waking up.
Why y'all acting like this ain't common sense? Like, I know y'all know this.
Yeah, and so some people are like, this is garbage. Well, what the heck are they talking about? And they're calling people out. He was racist. He wasn't racist. He was giving you facts about what needed to be done to correct problems and issues. But no, you don't want to. And everything that young lady just said, and I know she doesn't look like she looks like she's in her 20s or something like that, or 30s. I told you, I've been listening to Larry Elder since the 90s when he was always on Fox News debating the race hustlers. So I've been watching Fox News. I used to watch Bill O'Reilly. And so, you know, what she's saying, I get it. And and like I said, as soon as I watched that short, I'm like, oh my God. If she was born then, she was a kid, but Larry Elder's been saying that forever. And people don't want to listen. And then you had the Black people who would go on there and try to debate him on Fox. He would sweep the floor with them every time. And it's just unfortunate that Larry Elder, you know, he's never held office. We need people like Larry Elder to hold office, because what he's saying could correct the problem. But again, they don't want the problem corrected. And, you know, like I said, a lot of these Black preachers are out here spreading lies about how racist he is. But remember, they're just plants from the Democratic Party, and they are nothing but a hindrance to the Black American community. So let me show you this moron. I can show this to you. Hit the like button, please. He was a moral voice, something they don't have and didn't want to hear. Boom. Right. Oh, right. What do they say when they don't want to hear something? Racist, white supremacy and racism is the cause of all of Black America's problems. Slavery, and Black people in America can't make it because of white supremacy and racism. That's their go-to. That's what they do. So, and I was watching this preacher. I want to let you hear this because some of you don't know. The black church and the black preacher, when you hear me say that, I mean that. Now, he's not the only one. I've watched several, but Officer Tatum even tore him up. And I said, I didn't have time to come and find it. So Officer Tatum has the video of this fake preacher is what I'm calling him. And I wanted to show you what this moron is saying about Charlie Kirk.
An unapologetic racist.
Well, hey, what's he start? You see what he's starting off with? Hold on. He's starting off with Charlie Kirk being an unapologetic racist. Hold on.
Of the United States.
Now, you know he's a race hustler under the guise of being a minister.
Celebrate the killing of anyone. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff, calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land.
Now, did anyone hear this so-called preacher who's up in the pulpit mention anything about God? Did he say anything about your soul? Did he say anything about living right like Jesus lived, how Jesus wants us to live? Did anyone hear that? Maybe I missed it. So again, this is the crap you listen to in the traditional black church. They're brainwashed. God, Baldwin, no, he was not. He never is. Nemo, all these churches in the hood, and look at the communities. Boom. Right, because this is blackety, blackety, black. Right, Dorian? Listen to this crap.
And hearing people with selective rage who are mad about Charlie Kirk, but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived.
Look at these sides.
So you see the crap that they're preaching? Again, God will judge him, period. Right, my girl? This is, Connie, I'm sick of this racism. Doesn't give a crap. No, right, Connie? She was killed by her own party. Okay, Monique. Monique is dropping some bombs in here. How you doing, Mayor? So this is the crap. And you hear everybody in there clapping. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Mega church equals mega bucks. And they're not talking about God. They're talking about the Democratic Party. They're talking about everything. Making sure you get out there and vote for these Democrats, because all of this white supremacy and racism from Trump and the Republicans, oh my, hatred and violence, MAGA, boom. That's all they preach. There is no love. This guy doesn't even look right to me. Preachers like him, they're persuasive, but I don't trust preachers. No, DJ, no. If I go to a church and they're up talking and they're not talking about God, I'm out. I am out of there. James had said he has a really nice suit. I'd like to see his house and his vehicle. All they do is fleece the people. The people struggling, just trying to rub together two nickels, and they're living in mansions. Nemo, slick talking, jack-led preachers, what they used to call it. Kami, I wonder how much he got paid by the lip talk. Kami, listen to this. I know you heard that $sign. To be up and coming Black Bole member to finish off the destruction of the Black community. Yeah, that's all it is. My girl said he looked shady. Yes. My girls, tell me how much was his check? What was the size of the check that he received? Greg, false prophet. Boom, no lies detected, Greg. If you love me and love Jesus, I shouldn't be drinking a Cadillac. I should be in a Rolls Royce. Jason. Oh my God. Connie, all of these evil people. Pharisee, boom. Listen to this.
All right.
You do
Let him play. Finish it.
not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
So they're saying Charlie Kirk, him and many other black preachers, he was a tool of the devil. He was a self-avowing racist. How you doing, light bearer? And some of them were even saying he got what happened to him happened because of the hate that he spewed against black people. That this is what these black preachers are telling their congregations. DJ, oh my God, Baldwin, I hope not. Yes, MAGA, listen to this crowd.
I'm finna eat. Let him finish.
I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live.
Okay, what are your thoughts on this, folks, in the comment section? I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. White preacher was boring, but these aren't who I'd support. No, I take boring as long as they're talking about something that's going to help my soul instead of this crap. Read the book Brooklyn, author Tracy Brown. Okay.
Now you ain't got no connection to God if you talking like this fool. He said, think about this. He said, how do you have this feeling for Charlie Kirk, but you don't have this feeling for these two people that died? I guess they were politicians. Because they weren't people of God like Charlie was. Why do you think all these people crying? Why do you think all these people putting the flag at half mast? Why do you think all these people are celebrating?
And he looks like a demon. Look at him. He looks demonic. What was the size of his check? Commie, nurses, teachers. Oh, it's a mess. And they're still posting about it. They're still posting as people are being fired every day. Oh my God, MAGA. Yeah, that picture is haunting. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here you go. Let's continue.
Why do you think all these people are at their churches? They're doing their memorial services, flowers pouring out, buying merch, supporting Charlie. Why do you think people are doing it? Why do you think he got 1 million more people follow him on social media, millions more follow him on Instagram? We looked it up. 87 million views in a week of Charlie Kirk's material. Why do you think it's so? If you knew God and you knew the Bible, you would know because he's a man of God. And that's why it hurt when he died. And you don't even know him and it hurt. That's because somebody with that much power and that much authority and put God first in everything he did, you feel it when somebody like that died. If this pastor lost his life, nobody will come to this celebration but 3 people in this church because the Spirit of God in him is not powerful enough to make a difference. And if it was, he would have enough discernment to know that Charlie Kirk lived his life according to the scripture. And you may not like him telling the truth about you ignorant Negroes, but he told the truth anyway. You can't name a quote that Charlie Kirk said in context that wasn't true. You can't name it.
Okay, what do you think about this? I told you Officer Tatum was going to tear him a new one. The history of the Seventh-day Adventists and nutrition in this country. Okay, when I was a kid, the main rule was you had to go to church, right? Monique, Charlie moved the world. This guy couldn't even move a tissue. MAGA, does he not look demonic? Look at that face. And he's up in the pulpit preaching. Supposed to be preaching the word of God, but he's just talking about how racist Charlie Kirk was. Get out of here. Darlene said, truth bomb, here you go. Boom. He has guilt written all over his face. He doesn't have to say a word. No. Joel said, I watched Officer Tatum. Someone else's live stream a few days ago. He seems to play both sides. Not that I've seen, Joel, but leave it in the comment section so I can see what you're talking about. All right, here we go.
You sorry pastors, and your church ain't nothing. You got people having kids out of wedlock in your church. They ain't married. They dressing like you know what in your church. You're not holding nobody accountable.
They're not going to hold them accountable. They're not going to say anything because they want to keep the checks coming. We know what this is all about. I'll continue.
And I don't know it to be his church, but a lot of preachers that talk like this, that's what they church be about. They out there screwing around on the weekend, getting drunk, smoking weed, and they come in your congregation, you put your suit on, you put your tie on, and you ain't got no Holy Ghost power. You ain't got no discernment. You pick black over Christ. You pick.
Can anyone detect any lies? Have we not been talking about this on the channel? Yes, Connie. Have we not been talking about this on the channel? Gender and identity politics. Yes, Nemo. They don't serve God. They serve mammon. Gail, say it again for the people in the back. They pick black. They do. Black, blackity, blackity, black. You can be wrong as two left shoes, but if you are black, they will not go against you. And that's what's wrong with the black community. Boom. Mayor said black is his God. Here we go.
Black over Christ. You ain't got no discernment. You don't have to like Charlie, but you're a fool if you say he lived this life according to the enemy. And you're supposed to be reading your Bible. All right, the cost of everything is.
We know that he's not reading his Bible. He's trying to appease his democratic slave masters. We know that. And no. It's like the world revolves around black people. To hear them, the black shills talk, that's exactly what they make it sound like. Dorian, I always call the black church the black hole once you go in and you never come back out. The black preachers have allowed the rainbow folks to take over their churches. The black churches also, the white ones have lost their complete minds. Yes, you're right. Kevreux University a few days ago with Officer Tatum as his guest, and the host was no Charlie Kirk fan, and Officer Tatum agreed with most things. A few words he did say during the okay, Joe. Yeah, I haven't had time to watch that, but I'll check that out. Dorian said he needs to belong to the Diddy Party. He's trying to audition for BET. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Oh, and who is this who's this we're looking at? How many videos have I done on this clown? Now, I promise when this is done, we're going to get out of here. Dorian, it's your favorite preacher. The Biblical Conservative. I'm sure you know the channel addresses these. Oh, Nemo, I'm subscribed. I watch him all the time. Yeah, I like him. He's good. And a righteous perspective. He's good too. He calls them out too. All right, here's the crook, one of the crooked ministers. Anytime you see him, oh my God, watch out.
Jamal Bryant. And I if you see that pastor or Jamal Bryant, when you pass, you know where you went. Roll the clip.
But even in a tragic death, you cannot rewrite somebody's life. And I am all the more concerned about how America and the media is trying to remix a life of racism and white supremacy.
Oh my God. They're not getting off racism and white supremacy. We have canceled it 2025. If you are on board, type a 1 in the comment section. I am done. I'm sick of it. Racism and white supremacy. Jamal Bryant, if you're so concerned about black people, why are you still lying to them, telling them their biggest problem is racism and white supremacy? Stop fleecing these people. Oh my God, I can't. This guy, he wants to be so relevant. And you know, those of you that have been here for a while, the white man is living rent-free in their head. Thank you. White people are living their lives. They don't care about you. Stop with these lies. They're not thinking about you like that. Ruby, oh, yeah, he need to. Vincent Waters, how you doing? Thanks for the stopping by the channel. Rolynn, you made it personal with me. Yes. Jamal, go and take care of your out of wedlock children. Go and worry about the tape you made. Yeah, Cammie. Right. Anyone that listens to this crook, I don't know what to say for you. You can't have more than 2 brain cells. You can't. Vincent, welcome to the channel. I think you're new here. If you're enjoying the content, hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. We're glad you're here. Listen to this crap.
That went forth unchecked. We cannot say somebody who called Ketanji Brown a DEI hire.
Where was the lie? Someone type it in the comment section. Ketanji Brown. She was a DEI hire. She was. She doesn't know what she can't define what a woman is. So stop it. She was a DEI hire. We don't do DEI on this channel. Vincent, I love it too. If you can't tell me you're a woman, but when someone asks you the definition of a woman and you can't say it, you are a DEI hire. Boom. Here we go.
As somebody who is the face of Christendom, when the person who said it dropped out of community college. You cannot say that the Civil Rights Bill should not have been passed and Black people were in a better place in the 1940s when they had segregation and did not have freedom. You cannot say in no uncertain terms that George Floyd was a thug and Martin Luther King Jr. is not deserving of a holiday. My heart is mourning today from pastors and churches all over this country who are going to have moments of silence and celebrate somebody who is trying to take the nation backwards.
So the lie he's been preaching with all these other poverty pimp preachers is that Charlie, Kirk, and Trump, all of them are trying to take America back to Jim Crow, segregation, all of that. Oh my God. I hope I don't throw up my dinner. Thank you, Darlene. They made a martyr, the left made a martyr out of George Floyd. And wouldn't even, when the conservatives wanted to say a prayer after the tragedy, they said no. Ro, can you tell my landlord I don't have to pay rent because I'm white? It really helped me out. Pay that rent, James. I can't. He's not going to listen to me. Gail, he has been to school for ignorance. This is just too much of the devil for me to listen to. Gail, but there are a lot of people. I have so many new people here on the channel. I want them to hear this crap because they don't have a clue what's going on in these Black churches. And you know, I want to expose it. How dumb can you be? Blacks were doing far better under Jim Crow. My girls, I'm going to pin that comment because you have been reading Thomas Sowell just like I have. Blacks were doing better during Jim Crow. Yes, they were. I mean, yes, it was segregated, but they were doing better. And at time, Dr. Thomas Sowell has the receipts. If you have not read one of his books, it would behoove you to. So you're going to listen to Dr. Thomas Sowell, or you're going to listen to this poverty pimp. And what's the size of his check? How you doing, Light Bearer? Boom. Truth exposed. You know it, Light Bearer. You've been here long enough. This guy is full of it. We know he gets his checks from the Democratic Party as well. I have nothing for this guy. He is a poverty pimp. He wants to keep Black Americans poor, scared, and dependent on him and the Democratic Party. Go look at the mansion that he lives in, okay? And look at the cars he drives. Look at the clothes that he wears. And you tell me, newsflash, when Jesus walked the earth, he didn't walk around here in designer clothing. Okay? So these people need to stop it. I'm sick of it. Oh, yeah, he needs to pay his child support. Here we go. It means something not. Darlene said, roll back and look at the fist. Oh, you hold on. Yeah, Darlene, I'm glad you brought that up. Darlene said, roll back and look at the fist on the pulpit. It means something. It's not. That's the that's the Black Lives Matter emblem, Darlene. So this guy is full of it. He knows, he would never say it. They fleeced people out of millions of dollars. They did nothing for the poor, impoverished Black Americans that they said they were fighting for. They went to California and bought themselves mansions. Okay? Yes. Someone tell me I'm lying. Joel, watching old footage from 1930 Depression times in the city life looked much nicer. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even during segregation, Thomas Sowell, he has the receipts, and I'm going to listen to him over this crook. And he said Black Americans were doing better. Thomas Sowell is 90 plus years old. He was living during those times. He told us about, yeah, there was segregation, but Blacks were doing better. So stop it, liar. Here we go.
But Todd, help me in here. I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that. They having moments of silence in Black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist.
How many times have we heard racist and white supremacists in this video clip? Okay. This is what they're preaching in the pulpits in the traditional Black churches. And you wonder why Black people are walking around here dazed and confused. You wonder why the situation in the Black community continues to deteriorate. Second Black Wall Street was built. Let's see. The receipts are definitely there for that. Yes, Jason. Oh my God. Peep that logo. Dorian, I know. That's the Black Lives Matter, Black fist of power holding the cross. Oh my God. Oh.
How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie Crist and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common.
Oh, I can't. It's time to get real about dealing with evil. Blazer Bob, we're looking at evil right now. And he's up here lying to all these people in this congregation. We're looking at evil. That's what we're watching right now. But I wanted to show you, Blazer Bob. I don't think you were here. I have so many new subscribers. You need to know what is being said in the traditional Black church. These are the types of things that are being said. And these people, like sheeple, they sit there and soak it up and take it as being the truth. And it's all erroneous information. Here we go. Connie, well, if you feel sorry for these nuts, why would you give them money you don't have? Boom.
This why y'all communities messed up. This why y'all ain't never gonna make it nowhere listening to people like that. Listen how delusional he is. Charlie called. First of all, I know Charlie. I've been working with Charlie since 2017. We held the first Black Leadership Summit.
How many of you knew? Yeah, I was watching. I need to take time to watch it. Charlie Kirk, in unison with Officer Tatum, had a Black. Now he's such a white supremacist and a racist. He had a Black Leadership Summit, but he's such a racist. How many of you knew that? They won't say that. The media won't say anything about what he did. And the Black Leadership Summit. Oh my. Yes, Connie. Yes, he did.
At the White House for Black conservatives to go never has happened in the history of the country. Charlie's idea, the white man you talking about, his idea was to galvanize. And you know who helped us do it? For you suckers out there, you know who helped us do it? We got one Black man to donate us money to get all those kids out. We pay every single one of their airfare. We put them up in a hotel, and some of them ain't never been to the White House before. Some of them ain't never put on a dress before. They never had an occasion where they can dress up before. We pay for every one of them to get there. One black man gave 20 grand. Who was helping us raise money to get black people to the White House? White people. The man that stood next to me.
Remember, the white people are racist. They hate you. You can't make it because of white supremacy and systemic racism. Boom. It's all lies, folks. Don't listen to what they're saying. Oh, yes, he's always on fire. I love it.
Me that would go to fundraiser to fundraiser. The woman that stood next to me to go from fundraiser to fundraiser to tell people about the mission that Charlie Kirk started was number white people. And then you turn around, that man ain't never been racist to me. Charlie ain't got a racist bone in his body. Y'all Negroes don't want to hear the truth from a black man. The funny thing is, you claim that it's bad that people are honoring Charlie Kirk, and he was much better of a man than George Floyd. And y'all preaching at you.
Yeah, but they have busts of George Floyd everywhere. He's the second coming of Christ. But Charlie Kirk, oh no. Monique, that's all they're preaching now is hate. You're absolutely right. That's all they preach. They don't say anything about God. How you, if you're my preacher, how are you supposed to help nourish my soul? And you're not talking about God. I mean, make it make sense. Oh, this sounds like what they did to Donald Trump when he ran for president the first time. They buried all the things he did for black people. Commie, yes, all the good things, down even to the black homeless woman that he allowed to stay in his business. She may still be there, as far as I know. Trump said, let her stay here for free. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the black businessmen that went to Trump. They could not get business loans to start their businesses. Guess who gave them the money to start their businesses? But you don't hear that from the mainstream media because he's the biggest racist ever born. Trump gave them the money. And when their businesses got off the ground and they tried to pay Trump back, Trump said, no, you take that money and invest it back into your businesses. But has anyone heard anything about that via the mainstream media? I don't think so. That's what I thought. So they need to shut up. They need to shut up. No, they don't, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, I don't think you were here when I went on my rants about how devastating the black preacher and the black church have been to black Americans in their communities. The black preacher, the black politician, all of these black celebrities, these gatekeepers, these black shields, they are nothing but a detriment to the black community. And they have, now remember, all these people have their money, their checks. They want to keep you poor and dependent and scared. And that's not biblical. So that if it's not biblical, if it's not of God, it's of the devil. Boom. Here we go.
Jeez, y'all giving a moment of silence in your church for a thug that robbed a woman at gunpoint, that spent his whole life degrading the black community, using drugs, stealing, and doing foolery. Wasn't nowhere near his kids. He wasn't doing nothing right. And y'all dumb Negroes are here celebrating his life. But a man, because he's white, who honored Christ in everything he did, you now got a problem with it. Black folks at the barber shop talk about the same thing Charlie Kirk talks about. But y'all mad because he white. Anybody that is a scholar knows that the growth and success of black people per capita in comparison to the growth and success of every other race was disproportionately better in the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Facts. This guy's been reading Dr. Thomas Sowell. My girls. Yes, it was better. Thomas Sowell has the receipts. I've read it. Yes. So anyone listening to that charlatan, he doesn't have receipts. He's just talking to get people standing up and oohing and ahhing. And it's all erroneous. Listen to what Officer Tatum is saying. And those of you who haven't been on the channel long enough, I've done 2 or 3 videos on Dr. Thomas Sowell. And that's who I love Dr. Thomas Sowell. I read his books. I listen to his podcast. I love him. He has receipts. My girl said, yes, he does.
Than it is today. Now, you know it. The scholars know it, but if a white man say it, you got a problem with it because you the racist. Ketanji Brown is a. Let me tell y'all, Ketanji Brown is a affirmative action hire. Yo, white savior Joe Biden is the one that did that.
Woo! Woo! Hey, truth bomb. And we know, those that are new to the channel, the only reason that Jim Crow Joe gave her that seat, we know. The Democrats, they're very strategic. Those of you new on the channel, if you don't know, I will tell you. The reason that they put black people in high positions is to keep black Americans voting democratically. Boom. Someone tell me I'm lying. Here we go.
Charlie Kirk only spoke of what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden said, I'm going to pick a black woman. He didn't say I'm going to pick the best candidate. He said, I'm going to pick a black woman. That means I'm going to pick a color before her qualifications. Joe Biden said that. He made Ketanji Brown an affirmative action hire. And you mad at Charlie, but you're not mad at him. Joe Biden could have said, I'm picking the best quality person and picked a black woman. But that fool said, I'm going to pick a black woman, not the most qualified. Therefore, it eliminated the qualification that she was the best for the position. She just was the right color. You sorry son of a gun, man. I can't stand these people. I can't stand them. I can't stand them because that fool cheated on his wife. He at his second church because he cheated on his wife, having babies out of wedlock, got the woman pregnant in the church with his wife next to him.
And those idiots are still, okay, those of you that didn't know, because I've done a video on Jamal, who said, oh, my girl said, whoop, there it is. My girl, whoop, there it is. Wasn't that that was a big time rap song? Yeah. So why? Okay, first of all, if I was in a church, yes, Nemo, Walter Williams, I haven't read any of his books, but I listen to his videos and podcasts. Who would sit there and listen to this guy after everything? How many times has he been married? His marriage is always in because he's off with all the other women in the church. Sherry Yelverton. The main reason I wanted Charlie for years was his common sense and facts of history, love for college kids. He set the bar. Oh, yeah. I haven't read Thomas Sowell books, but have watched his videos. Yes, my girls, you know I have his book. He's written over 40. So yeah, Dorian, you know he's cooking.
He the pastor. Jamal Bryan is the pastor screwing a woman at the church. And you talking about Charlie Kirk? You on Real Housewives. How many marriages are you in? Charlie Kirk been married one time to one woman. How many marriages you have? How many kids out of wedlock you got? You got kids coming out saying you don't even take care of your kids.
Oh yeah, remember that, folks? Well, yeah, well, they were talking, one of the women was talking crap that he was not even taking care of some of these kids that he had with his boo thing, his boo things. How you doing, Mama Bear 2.0? How are you, love? Yeah, we are cooking tonight, honey. Woo! I love it. I did a video on this a while back. Oh, he's a crooked charlatan. And I've said it. Officer Tatum is saying it. Anyone who's not afraid to speak the truth is telling it.
Kid come out and say Jamal Bryan ain't taking care of me. What kind of man are you? And Charlie ain't even a preacher. Let me just play this last one. It's gonna really boil your blood. But this is about Charleston White. This is how black people think, and not all. Oh, you have it. We're not gonna play it right now. We'll play it in post-production. But that Charleston White guy is a reflection of how a lot of black people feel because they silly. Listen, when you silly, you can't get blessed.
Those are facts. My girls, what are you laughing at? You behave before I have to put you in the corner, okay? Behave. Sherry Yelverton, the only slightly bad thing I've heard about Charlie is his childhood friend arguing who was taller. Bam. All right. And so, folks, that's pretty much all I have for you. Monique, I would run, and that's a problem I have with a lot of black churches. They know the ministers are garbage. Yes, Greg. They know they're cheating on their wives with men and women. And people still sit there and they go every single Sunday after Sunday. I have a serious problem with that. I do. Again, how are you going to help nourish my soul? And you're living for the devil. I can't. So that's my take on it. You know how I feel. Nemo and Rollers, don't try to run off. We want more. Nemo, I don't know what I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you. I don't. Rolynn, there's a YouTuber called. I watch him too. Dawson Speaks. He speaks on all the unsavory things that goes on in the churches, black and white. Calmy, I look at Dawson Speaks all the time. All these crooked preachers. And Kami, I looked at one of them graduated from my school, and he was fooling around with a preacher, and the preacher didn't pay him. And you know, he went on Facebook and Facebook Live and exposed him. And I loved it. If one of my former students, whoop, Connie, he will tell it like it is. Yeah, Devin, I like him too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So again, folks, the wheel in the sky is still turning. And all I can say is, we're going to have to stay prayed up and be cognizant of where we are, make sure we're being, observant, because a lot of people, they're kooks. And there are a lot of threats being made. Not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you what I see online. And so just be careful. James, you don't want to become one of those crooked preachers. No, not allowing it. Winter is here again, oh Lord. Haven't been home in a year or more. I hope she holds on a little longer. Send a letter on a long summer day, made of silver, not of clay. Ooh, I've been running down this dusty road. Ooh, the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. Boom. You know that's Journey. Oh my God. And that's what I'm saying. Every day there's another twist and another turn. That's Journey. I have Journey's greatest hits in the truck. That's Journey 1978. But I just wanted to come on. Like I said, those of you who are just joining now, I know I'm usually live on Wednesdays. I have a dental appointment, so I think I'm going to have to get some shots in my mouth. If I probably won't be live tomorrow. Just depends on what they have to do, cleaning and whatever else they have to do. So if they give me shots and my mouth feels like it's, not right, I won't be on, but I'll definitely come on and do a show on Thursday. Don't worry about that. Jeremiah, he's not a black guy who's been here since slavery, so he has a different take. Jeremiah. Woo! So that's pretty much all I have for you. All I can say is I can't wait until this trial, the court date. This guy, his goose is cooked. He let the devil get a hold of his mind. And now I think someone typed it earlier. He's destroyed his life. He's destroyed his parents' life. And it's sad. My girls, Rolynn, did you feed your froggy friend and collect rent? Ask him for a friend. My girls, I can't find Froggy. Oh my God. Sure, it has to go. You have to go feed the cows. Love you too. See you Thursday. I'll be live Thursday. Did I miss it? You're a hoot. I'm glad it occurred. Yeah, Mama Bear. Hey, you're a hoot too, love. Hey, we sing the old classics here. We sing the old classics and we share truth and we have a good time. And all I can say is I can't wait. And my favorite artist, one of them is Carly Simon. Anticipation. Anticipation, it's making me wait. We have to wait. Oh yeah, Mama Bear. Yes, yes, yes. I sing the rock classics, Mama Bear. I'm trying to go back in time when we did not have all of this racial strife, all of these problems. I had a good childhood. I had good friends. We didn't have these problems, and I sing the old classics because I want to go back. Does that make sense? I want to go back, excuse me, to the times that I enjoyed and the wokeness was not here. Yes. One of my favorite songs of all times. I don't like his politics, but I love this song. I had a friend who was a big baseball player back in high school. He could throw that speedball by you, make you look like a fool, boy. Saw him the other night at this roadside bar I was walking in. He was walking out. We went back inside, sat down, and had a few drinks. But all he kept talking about was glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wink of a young girl's eye, glory days. Glory days. Yes, Maga. I don't like his politics, but I love his music. Well, there's a girl that lives up the block. Back in school, she could turn all the boys' heads. Sometimes on a Friday, I'll stop by and have a few drinks. After she put her kids to bed, her husband, Bobby, well, they split up. I guess it's 2 years gone by now. We just sit around talking about the old time. She says when she feels like crying, she starts laughing, thinking about glory days. Well, they'll pass you by, glory days. In the wink of a young girl's eye, glory days. Glory days. And that's why I love that song. I want to go back. Anyone who wants to go back, type a 1 in the comments section. Boom. We grew up in the malls and you barely ever heard of a shooting. My God, the malls were the place to go. We went to the roller rink every Friday night, skating. Yes, my girls, I love the boss. I love it. I don't like his politics, but I love his music. God, woo, look, everybody wants to go back. Woo, yes. Yes. Don't worry, Mama Bear. I know you're new here. Hit the subscribe button. I am saving money so I can get some singing lessons so I won't be too hard on your ears. Boom. Gail said if I went back, I would never come back. Gail, can I go? I want to go with you. James was working in nightclubs. I was a kid, James, but I was rocking out with the boss. You know, I love the boss. And those are good songs. Jeremiah, yeah, I was in the arcades with my friends playing Miss Pac-Man. Mama Bear, yes, fun times, good times, no wokeness. Quick fun fact, every Friday night, my 2 best friends in high school, 2 white girls, Pam and Paula, 2 identical twins. Every Friday night, I was at the roller rink with them. We were going around, skating, listening to music, having a good time. Oh my God. That's how I was raised. I wasn't raised to be a victim. I wasn't raised that white people are my enemy. That's what they're teaching people now, and that's the problem. Oh my God, Jeremiah, Space Invaders. Woo, I loved it. Yes, Dorian. Now, I didn't look at Miami Vice, but I know I used to look with Mom used to look at Jessica Fletcher and all Murder She Wrote. Donkey Kong, yes, Frogger. Where's Florida? I'm gonna get her. But that's all I have for you. But Mama Bear, we're glad you're here, love. Make sure you come back Thursday. Thursday, I should be on screen. It's just when I come home from work and I have to rush and jump on a live stream, I don't have time to do anything. So I don't have time to really get out of my work clothes, but I'll be on screen Thursday. Okay. Now, if something happens tomorrow, and I get back from the dentist at a decent time, I will jump on if something major happens. The Mario Brothers, boom. Yes. Dukes of Hazzards, just a good old boy. Yes, I love the Dukes of Hazzards. I don't give a care what anyone says. Yeah. Ghostbuster, yeah, all of that. Yeah. So we're gonna get out of here. I love you, and please be safe, people. Please, I'm serious. There's so many people on the left and the right making threats. Stop it. Stop going on social media, people. Shut your mouths, please. I'm sick of it. Pong, yes. Gail, I'm old enough to remember Pong. Joel, I was playing the Bee Gees in my classroom today, the 14-minute version of Staying Alive, the 13-minute version of You Should Be Dancing. Yeah. Woo! I have the Bee Gees' greatest hits on CD. Don't mess with me. I've got it all. Yeah, the General Lee car. I don't give a care about the Confederate flag. That's a good show. Hee haw, yes. I was not raised, Connie, I was not raised to hate. When I was in school, middle school in Whitehall, Pennsylvania, there was me and one other black person in the school. We did not have any problems. Everyone was nice to us. I'm just giving you some of my history. So when black people come to me telling me that white people are my enemy, I am looking at them with the side eye, because that's not what I've experienced. I've experienced bad people from all races, but I'm talking about stop telling me white people are my enemies. I don't want to hear that. I was not raised that way. I was not raised that I was a victim, and I was not raised that white people are my enemies. That's just not how. Nemo, yes. I wasn't raised that way, so you can't make me believe that now. No. That's a bunch of garbage, because I know my Savior is in heaven. And I don't care what anyone tries to do to me. No one can stop it. What he has for me, I'll get it. Oh, yeah. Greg, I'll check that out when we get off. So check me out. If something major happens, I will jump on tomorrow. If not, you'll see me Thursday. How about that? All right. I enjoyed you all. I love you. And please, please, please be cognizant of your surroundings. Be safe. Yes, Jeremiah. So I'm coming to talk to you right now in the comment section. So don't forget, folks, if you will, come back and leave a comment under the video. That helps YouTube to push the video out to even more people. So I'm coming to talk to you right now.